Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's fueled countless theories, movies, and debates: the hidden files of the CIA. Get ready, because we're about to explore the shadowy world of an organization designed to protect, but often shrouded in mystery and controversy. When the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, was officially created in 1947, right at the beginning of the Cold War, its mission seemed pretty straightforward, right? Gather intelligence, protect America from its enemies, keep an eye on global threats. On the surface, that sounds like a job description, straight out of a spy novel. But what quickly became apparent was that behind those closed doors, the agency evolved into something far more complex. It became a master of secrecy, manipulation, and, as we'll soon see, covert operations that reshaped history in ways many of us are only just beginning to understand. It's a fascinating look at power, national security, and the thin line between necessary action and unchecked influence. Now, let's talk about one of the most chilling chapters in CIA history, Project MKUltra. Imagine this: the 1950s and 60s, a time of immense paranoia and fear, and the CIA launches a top-secret program focused on mind control. They weren't just thinking about it. They were actively testing techniques, often using powerful drugs like LSD, and here's the kicker: frequently without the consent or knowledge of the people involved. These weren't willing volunteers in a scientific study. These were individuals unknowingly becoming pawns in a vast, secretive experiment. Think about the ethical implications there. For decades, these experiments were kept under wraps, a dark secret buried deep within classified files. It wasn't until the 1970s, when some of these documents were finally declassified and made public, that the true extent of MKUltra came to light. The revelations sparked widespread outrage, shook public trust, and led to congressional investigations. It left an indelible mark on how many viewed the agency, raising serious questions about the limits of power and the sanctity of human rights in the name of national security. But the CIA wasn't just experimenting on minds. It was actively shaping the political landscape of entire nations. This is where things get truly global and, for many, deeply unsettling. From the very beginning, the agency played a significant role in projecting American influence far beyond its borders. We're talking about covert interventions that altered the course of history for countless people. Let's look at a few examples. In 1953, the CIA was instrumental in orchestrating a coup in Iran, overthrowing a democratically elected prime minister. Fast forward to 1973, and similar actions were taking place in Chile, supporting a military coup that led to decades of authoritarian rule. And these are just two high-profile cases among many. The pattern was clear. The CIA supported rebels, armed factions, and toppled leaders, always operating from the shadows, making it difficult to trace their fingerprints directly. For many people around the world, the agency became a powerful, almost mythical force, a symbol of invisible power, influencing the destinies of nations without ever truly revealing its hand. It's a complex legacy, one that sparks fierce debate even today about sovereignty, intervention, and the long-term consequences of such actions. And, speaking of mysteries, what about the UFO files? This is a favorite for conspiracy theorists and curious minds alike. For years, the idea of the CIA tracking unidentified flying objects seemed like something out of a science fiction movie. But here's the reality: declassified documents have indeed shown that the CIA, particularly during the height of the Cold War, kept a keen eye on UFO reports. Why? Not necessarily because they believed in little green men, though that was certainly part of the public fascination. Their primary concern was far more pragmatic and rooted in the Cold War tensions of the time. They feared these unidentified aerial phenomena might actually be advanced Soviet weapons or surveillance technology. Imagine the panic if the enemy had something flying through your airspace that you couldn't identify or track. So, yes, they collected data, investigated sightings, and tried to make sense of the inexplicable. Even today, Despite numerous declassifications and explanations, a significant portion of the public still believes the agency knows far more about extraterrestrial phenomena than it has ever admitted. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? That somewhere, deep in a vault, there might be answers to one of humanity's greatest questions. So, where does all this leave us? The mystery certainly remains. For some, the CIA stands as a vital guardian, a necessary shield against the myriad of threats that constantly face a nation in a complex world. They view its covert actions, even the controversial ones, as sometimes unavoidable necessities to protect national interests and prevent larger catastrophes. They argue that in the dangerous game of global politics, certain choices must be made in the shadows to keep everyone safe. On the other hand, many others see the CIA as something closer to a puppet master, pulling the strings of nations, subtly influencing events, and often, they believe, for reasons that go beyond simple protection. They question the morality and ethics of operating outside public scrutiny, worrying about unchecked power and the potential for abuse. What is absolutely certain, regardless of your perspective, is this: a significant portion of the CIA's history, its true impact, its successes, and its failures, remains deeply buried within classified files, and that leads to the ultimate, echoing question, one that continues to captivate and intrigue. How much of the world we know, the political landscapes we inhabit, the historical narratives we accept, has actually been shaped by decisions we, the public, were never meant to see? It's a thought-provoking idea, reminding us that history isn't always what's written in textbooks. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the hidden files of the CIA. It's a subject that truly makes you think about power, secrecy, and the forces that shape our world. If you found this video as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, share it with someone who loves a good mystery, and definitely subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments what you think about the CIA, Guardian, or Puppet Master. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.